Good morning and welcome to this, our second meeting. Last time we talked about the Roman Empire as it was very generally at the time of St. Paul. Now we're going to focus on the Middle Eastern part, the Middle East, and particularly Judea and Greece, which were kind of the areas where St. Paul primarily operated. About 300 years before Paul was born, an ingenious general, Alexander the Great, had built an empire from Latian Macedonia all the way to India, an empire he did not have time to consolidate due to his early death in 323 BC at only 33 years of age. His generals spread out this immense empire, establishing as many kingdoms, which were then, however, for the most part absorbed into the Roman Empire. If Alexander and his generals failed in building a great empire, they were, on the other hand, completely successful in ensuring that Hellenic culture became prevalent in the territories of their occupants. Greek had become the most widely spoken language, even when those territories. Then came the Roman Empire. Latin was used for administrative acts, however. For example, Paul wrote all his letters in Greek. The inscription that was affixed to the top of Jesus' cross was composed in three languages: Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. In Palestine, the situation was very peculiar. Formerly, it was an independent kingdom, but under the control of the imperial legate of the province of Syria. This form of independence was due to King Herod the Great, to be clear, the one who ordered the slaughter of the innocents at the time of Jesus. Herod can be called a voracious predator. He was not a Jew, but from Idumea. And because of this, he was never much loved by the Jews, although he tried to win them over by restoring and expanding the temple in Jerusalem. Eventually, by force and cunning, he succeeded in being appointed king of Judea by Rome and retained this title even during the Augustan Empire in the form of a client state. Using modern terminology, we can say that in Augustus's eyes, the kingdom of Judea was a buffer state. That is, it allowed the Romans to ease the burden of defense, since Herod had to take care of the internal order and also a first level of defense of his borders. The Roman prefect, at a distance from Judea, did not dwell in Jerusalem. This was certainly not out of formal respect for the king, but because it was too difficult a city to defend, and he preferred to stay on the plains in the city of Caesarea. When Paul, as we shall see, was accused by the Jews in Jerusalem of being a subbulator, the Romans saw that there were dangers of riots. They moved Paul overnight, right from Jerusalem to Caesarea. In this context, Paul found himself synthesizing, I would say providentially, the three civilizations now present in the area in which he operated: the Greek, the Roman, and the Jewish. He was thus ready to ferry them toward the disruptive universal vision that the Christian faith brought with it. In his life and letters, Paul was able to take the best of the three civilizations, establishing among them a proper balance, thus avoiding partisan excesses. Well, we have tried in this meeting to frame the complexity of the world in which St. Paul lived, the result of the intersection of three civilizations, the Jewish, the Roman, and the Greek. But at the same time, we saw how Paul was the right person to understand them all and to ferry them to Christianity.